Hi, Paul.
Hey, amazing. A very ambitious work. This is a longer piece for you from what you've done in the past.
Yeah, it's long. It could be a
No,
little
not at
shorter.
all. Not at
There's enough
all.
spaces it could be a little shorter. A little cleaned up a little bit.
No, if anything, much more. Um, so how did you conceptualize the idea of putting this memoir or making it in this way?
Because I'm a puppeteer, and I think I was really interested in like how puppets have been used in forms of ceremony and ritual. And I used to, actually, now that I'm saying this out loud, when I was a kid, I played with dollhouses obsessively. And my parents, it was kind of a tumultuous household, and I would reenact a lot of my scenes of family life with the dollhouses. And so I became really into objects as this way of kind of digesting and communicating with like what was going on around me a little bit. And I was really into Playmobil because it was really banal. Like I hate Legos, I hate fantasy and swords and dragons, but I love Playmobil because it was like a doctor's office, and it was like a mechanic, and I found that to me to be so it like opened up the world in a way to be able to like re-enter, the veterinarian clinic and play out a scene. I was really interested in that, and so I think in some way it was some kind of bizarre way of being, I don't know, thinking I would actually find some closure or some type of process that I had when I was a kid by doing this with the puppets in stop motion.
Do you think it was a way of? Did it help you to process your childhood?
No. I hate watching it. I hated making it. I hate talking about it. The only part I really like is when my family gets killed. Like I love the part. I like watching my uncle get shot. There's something about the killing and like the baseball bat that I find therapeutic because it is like somehow like, oh, you did that. Like watch me do that. Like I don't know. I like that element of it, but everything else is just I don't know. I find it a little repulsive sometimes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was it like to conceptualize the puppet design and the set design?
I built a little larger scale. I really love working in smaller scale. Like I think I had a short called Charlotte, and it was all much smaller scale, and I missed that a little bit in this. I'm not quite working in such large, like kind of a larger scale. I think the puppets were about like 10 inches, but it was a little easy because everything was referential. So in some way, it was like, I was referencing The Sopranos. I was referencing my own family footage. So there's always something I was kind of looking at. And so in some way it was quite easy. And then I allowed my style to kind of, I was really trying to do things as precise as possible. My style is very messy, and so it kind of comes out that way. Yeah.
Well, that animated ravioli pot gave me a lot of joy, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I liked it. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
Questions from the audience? Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote the whole voiceover first. That was like the longest part of the process, and then I made it animatic. Originally, it was about Michael Jackson, the hologram of Michael Jackson on Hollywood Boulevard, and Livia Soprano, and I was really interested in this like posthumous performance culture. Paul Walker, like it was like touching on, and then I was just edited, and then eventually I just kind of stuck with Livia. But it took a long time to write it. That was kind of where I always hang out the most. And yeah.
Anyone else? I saw your crew, I guess, was mostly Korean.
Oh yeah, it's because I moved to Korea to make the movie. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any equipment, and so I got a job as a assistant professor at a job at a position in Seoul. And I wasn't quite interested in leaving Los Angeles, but I thought they offered an office and equipment and student labor. So to be honest, they didn't do that much. All right, I built the puppet. I mean, I was responsible for the set building, but they helped a little bit. They're good students. They were okay students, but yeah, it was great. It was great to work with them. Yeah.
What was their impression of what you were doing?
They hadn't really. There wasn't a strong reference point. And they were, the problem was that I would say a lot of my students were very precise, and it was like things were looking too clean. And so this was like, it was a little bit difficult in that way. And I would try to get them to be a little messier. And by the end, I think they were messier. This is such a tangent, I'm really sorry. And then these students that work with me at the school is very competitive, and then you have to reapply to get a BFA at the end of your period there at the school. And the students that work with me, they really actually gravitated towards the process, and their work became a lot messier, and they started kind of like doing like a lot of DIY puppet shows. It was really cool to see that impact. And then when they all applied to get their 4-year BFA, my whole group of students, they all were denied. The faculty was like, what is this guy doing? This is not what we should be doing here. And I felt very guilty about it. And then I made the decision to leave for that. I think that was a big reason, is I just felt like I'm not doing them any good telling them to get into experimental animation and puppets. This is not the route to go into. Yeah.
So this film came at a huge human cost. Basically.
Yeah, not just mine. Yeah, not just my life. A lot of people's lives were affected.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Yes.
Have you shown it to your family, and what was that journey?
No. And I have kept it from them. I have an uncle that's dead, but his wife is alive, and she kind of gets like what I'm getting at. Like, it's very critical of the family, and she's totally on board. But everyone else in my family, I showed a cousin, and she didn't like it. It made her very uncomfortable, and I will not show my family the film. I was like, I had to lie. Why are you in town for what screening? And I'm like, oh, nothing. I will. Yeah, I don't want to go down that pathway.
That's interesting, because I was talking to Joey Hirsch, who did Inborn, that we're going to show later in the festival, and he said the same thing.
Really?
He said, my family will never see this film.
Yeah.
And it's a feature that stars him. Yeah. But if you see the film, you'll know why. But so you had a question. Oh, go ahead.
What kind of relationship do you have with your mother and your father?
My relationship with my mom was very close. I still feel like I make everything. I feel like after she died, I kind of lost a lot. Like, I'm not as funny anymore. I'm not as playful, and I'm like always trying to get back to that. And that happened like 15 years ago, 20 years. I'm old now, and like I was like 24, and I feel like
You're still funny.
Oh, thanks. But I'm trying to like chase that. So I feel like everything I make is somehow like for her in a way, but she never even liked the stuff that I made, which was kind of funny. So I'm on this ongoing, and I'll never get the whatever I'm looking for. And my dad, it's not great. We haven't talked in a long time, in like 2 years, and we just started talking again, but only through the New York Times Crossplay app, which is like the crosswords, or no, it's Scrabble. And like recently we started playing together, and he was like, good move, thanks.
Finally some approval.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm impressing with my Scrabble, the triple letter scores.
Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead.
What was the process like with the music? The song is really great.
Yeah.
Grandma sings.
Yeah.
Were you editing with the music already, or did that come later?
I worked with that guy, the composer, Stéphane Lapour. He has a band called Domotique, and I would listen to his music a lot, making other work. And then I had a little bit of money from Cartoona, and it was like $3,000. I gave it to him to make the music, and it was great. I mean, he would send some things originally, and I wouldn't like. It was hard when you like someone a lot, and they send you something. You have to tell them like, it's not what I had in mind. It's a very uncomfortable thing to do, but he eventually got there, and we eventually agreed on. I'm really happy with it, and he made a lot of great choices. Like the opening, he took out some music. He made things more minimal. He understood. Like, it was a great relationship. He was great. I don't know. It was good. And then he sings the song. He wanted me to redo it. And he sent me a demo. I wrote the lyrics, and I sent them to him, and then he made the demo, and he was like, can you re-sing this? Because I was going to do all the voices. And I said, sure, but I love the demo so much. And he said, I don't want to be in the film. And then he came to see the premiere because it was in Switzerland, and he didn't know. And then he saw that I left it in, and he was a little upset about that. But I love it. I still love it. I love that his voice is in it. He does such a good job. And he just did it on his iPhone, I think, on that. And he tried to redo it again, never had the same like grit. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so what are you going to do next?
I don't know. I'm getting older, and part of getting older is I can pinpoint a moment in my life where I feel like things really went off the rails. And I can tell you, like now that I have the timeline in my head, and it was when I was in 2013, a guy killed my dog, and this has like sent me. You don't have to be like it's a very strange, bizarre story. I don't need sympathy on it. But it's the same plot as John Wick, and I never seen John Wick, and so I'm really interested in this, and I want to confront him, and I want to make a film, and I don't exactly know how he killed the dog, so I'm interested in like trying to imagine how he killed the dog. Seymour Rackens, and it was the dog's name was Seymour, and I want to like really reimagine that, and then I want to like talk to him about it. Don't tell him. Don't put this on Letterboxd. I don't know when's gonna put it. Don't write like he's making a movie about someone who killed his dog, because I don't want the guy to find out. Because I have to like go around the back door and kind of surprise him. Yeah, I have to surprise him.
Well, thanks so much for
thank
coming
you.
out. Great Q&A, by the way.
Oh yeah, thanks, Paul.
Awesome. That's
Great
our show.
blog too.